First three notes of this song are going to be E, F, and G. Don't worry about the rhythm. You can kind of make yourself sound like me and the recording by listening through a couple times. Sounds like this. Make sure all three of those notes are separated with your air. Using your tongue to define. Double check with your tuner. So those first three notes are going to be the ones that you're going to use. If you are a beginning player, if you don't quite know a lot of notes yet, use this. It's a perfect way to get going in the song without having to learn 5, 6 notes. When we get to the next section, that's going to be great. The first three notes, though, pose a pretty hard problem for some of us, which is how do we tongue that fast? So the very first thing I would tell you to do is sing it on da, da da da, da da da, da da da, and then try it on air. Try that a few times. Now, take your tongue and your air and put it to the buzz. If you can't do that with your buzz, now try it with just the trumpet now. No playing out loud, just air. If you can get that separation, then introduce the sound. If that's a little bit too hard, if that's not working for you within the first 5 or 6 tries, slow it down really slow. D, D, D. T, T, T. Then we get into the next few notes. Da, 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 C, D, D. Quick disclaimer about this song. For trumpet players, you're going to want to pull your slide out to about right there. Leave it there for the entire song. Let's check our tuner. And with my slide kicked out there, I'm actually having no problem getting that to be close to in tune. Play that faster. Good. The next section is a bunch of notes. We have a string of eighth notes. If you've never played this fast before, don't let it intimidate you. C, D, E, G, F, E, D, E, D, E, D. And if you can say those letter names and do those fingers with it, then you're in great shape. You'll probably be able to play it fairly quickly. Let's try saying those letter names by yourself until you can get them fast enough to be able to keep up with the song at a medium tempo. Maybe not as fast as the actual recording that we gave, but close. Once you have those notes under your fingers and said out loud, then it's time to introduce playing it slow, nice and easy on the trumpet. That's pretty slow. You might not still be able to get it that fast, so go even slower or go in smaller portions. Get up to there, and then try the D, E, D, E, C, like that. And that's a cross fingering. That's going to be a little bit tricky, so work your fingers fast. When you get to measure 13 and 14, you're going to have these repeated Ds and then the C right after. This can be troublesome. Make sure that you're thinking to yourself, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Because that beat 2 of the next measure is your C. And that's where you're going to end the repeated Ds. So if you're not sure when they stop, think like that. D, 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 C. If you can get that to line up perfectly and have the right number of Ds, then the rest of it will play itself because you'll have those under your fingers already. Speed that up until you can't miss it and can't mess it up. Practice slow, move to fast. Now, if you've made it this far, then you're probably a pretty accomplished player, probably ready for the next part. Measure 15. Measure 15, we have to go up to the A. Da, 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 da. G, A, G, D, C, G, F, D. Those skips are tough. Make sure you use your tuner to check that. Keep that slide kicked out. The goal is to get all those notes as perfectly in tune as you can so you can hear it, and then when you speed it up a little bit, you won't have to look at the tuner as much, and you'll use your ears to make sure you're right. Learn that slow. Da da da, dee da dee. And when you're playing with the tuner, it's going to help you learn to slow naturally. The second phrase ends with C, E, D. C, E, D. C, E, D. Right? So just make sure your air is ready to fire. And it comes in on the and of 3. So don't get too nerdy about it, but you do need to make sure you don't come in at the wrong spot. I'll start from measure 17. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Getting that transition from the last 2 measures to the end, we have a break in between the D to the G, and then another break in the air from the G to the E. I did this on purpose to make sure that we're like separated and clean from person to person. So space. Normally we wouldn't sing that. It's okay. We'd slur into it, but to make it clean for band, we're going to make that separation there. Da-dee-da, da-da-da-da. And then you just play the melody out. If this feels like a lot, don't worry. You only have to learn the sections that you want to learn and can learn. When you learn something perfect and make it really high quality, you're actually going to find that the next pieces of music that you learn are much easier. But if you just rush through it, if you're like, I'm going to play the entire thing from top to bottom without stopping, you're actually going to train yourself to learn things incorrectly, and you might actually do more damage than good. So nice and slow, quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. And then the next piece of music you learn will be that much easier to get it at a high quality, and you'll be more happy with the way that you're learning and the progress that you're making on trumpet.